So anyway, we're now going to take a trip over to Panasonic Factory Automation, where we're going to join Gustavo Sepulveda, who's the Process Automation Business Head, and Chris Young, the Senior Sales Manager. So welcome, gentlemen. Nice to see you today.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Good morning, Michael. It's good to be here.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So, a few products that we're going to have a look at today, and maybe you can tell us some of the updates that you've made to these machines over the last year or so. And let's start off, of course, with the screen printing solutions, because that's such a key part of the manufacturing line.
Yes, basically what we want to discuss all those products that you're talking about. If it is okay, I would like just to mention a few minutes, a little bit about the trends that we see in order to link the products with the trends, and then maybe we can have a better complete understanding. Okay. So something that we are seeing at this moment, it's a lot of smart factory. And what I mean by this is that customers are insisting that they need turnkey solutions with a lot of digitalization integrated in the solutions. The years when customers bought islands and different machines one by one, and they were buying hardware, that is practically gone. Now they want to see one complete system, one complete line, all the machines talking to each other, not only within the SMT line. They also want to talk with the rest of the factory, the ERP, the warehouse, everything. And they want lines that can control and monitor all the production. So in Panasonic, what we are trying to offer to the market is this smart factory solution when the customer can see the complete operation from one single system. That is what we are trying to do, and that is what we are going to explain. Now, something that I would like also to mention is how do we see the products moving now? Let me give you one or two examples. At the beginning of the pandemic, we see a huge change, and the customers were producing a lot of home office devices. To give you some example, laptops, cell phones, cameras, scanners, printers, and all the chip companies moved most of their production in order to be able to cope this demand. What we are seeing now, it is a little bit different. Yes, home office continues, but now automotive is back, and automotive needs a lot of components. So we as Panasonic need to cope because the solutions that we offer for the home office is one. The solutions that we may offer for the automotive market is a different one. So we need to have the flexibility and the capability to offer what our customers needs, because this is changing from time to time constantly. One last example that I want to give you before we go to the product is the migration that we are seeing. We are seeing a lot of migration from Asia to North America, not for one or two reasons, but there are a lot of reasons. To give you one example, customers want to diversify, and they want to be sure that they have different facilities around the world. So if something happens in one country, they have different facilities. They want to be closer to the markets. They want to be sure that they have no issues with cyber security, tariffs. So all these things combined at the same time, customers migrating, customers requesting new kind of solutions, products that are needed today, and then other products that may be needed tomorrow. Panasonic needs to take all these variables at the same time and offer the complete solution that we have. You are talking about the printer. To continue with your question, Chris, I
Well,
think this
before
is
before
something.
you do that, Gustavo, let me ask you a couple of quick questions on what you've said so far. I mean, first of all, it's good to hear there's a lot of people implementing factory automation. We've seen a lot of evidence of that coming from the larger companies, the tier ones and the tier twos to a lesser degree. Are you seeing much in the tier threes and tier fours getting involved in automating the process?
I think it is happening first in the tier one, tier two, but I am beginning to see some interest in tier three, tier four. Yes, but my opinion, tier ones and twos are a little bit ahead, but it is beginning to happen in practically a lot of companies at different scale.
Yeah. And okay. And my other question very quickly was, you mentioned a lot of manufacturing coming back to North America. Is it coming back to North America or is it coming back to Mexico? Because the trends that we're seeing is that it's coming back to places like Mexico or Eastern Europe or, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, these types of areas for Asia. What are you seeing? Are you seeing the actual manufacturing coming back to the United States?
We are seeing that it is mainly to Mexico and US. When I say North America, I talk about US and Mexico. Yes,
Okay.
It is not only to the US. To the
Sure.
US, Mexico is also taking a big portion of that process.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the automotive in Mexico is very, very strong. And if you're making success in automotive, especially in Mexico, it's an amazing success story, because here you've got some product that is safety critical, it's cost critical, it's competitive critical as well. And so that is, if you like, the most representative of any customer's need that you could possibly see. So being able to supply that market to fulfill their requirements is an amazing achievement.
Yes, it is. And we are seeing automotive customers doing more in Mexico. But I can tell you that also in the US, if we compare with 2 years ago, I think that the trend is very positive also in the US.
Okay. That's good to hear. Okay, so let's talk about some of the equipment solutions that you've got to offer.
Sure,
Yes.
Trevor. Thank you. Yeah. Let's start with the SPG2 screen printer. This is our latest version of the screen printer offering. We did introduce it last year at Apex, but it's certainly worth mentioning some of the features that are enhanced. We've increased the board size range to handle larger, wider boards. There's even a extra long board version as well. Some labor-saving features are such as auto support pin placement and auto stencil change as well. And then we've enhanced the user interface quite a bit, more icon-driven, to allow the operator to be more efficient interacting with the machine. And then we have a variable angle of attack for the squeegee. So it's a really nice printer. It fits much more a broader range of customers, contract manufacturing, etc.
So that the automatic stencil changeover, is that a single stencil that's brought to the line with an AGV, or how does that work?
No, actually, I think you put one or two extra in the queue in a staging area, and it will change those over for you.
Okay. What about the paste? Does it change over the paste cartridges as well?
No, not the paste. There is auto paste dispense options along with epoxies, glues, and things like that as well. But it's not automatically changing that paste dispense unit.
Okay, good. So what's happening then on the pick and place side? You've got a couple of different families.
Yeah, we're showing the NPM W2, the NPM WX and DX. These are platforms that have been around for a while, but we've enhanced some of the features regarding specific applications. So we're seeing demand for 5G and servers. So we're seeing requirements for larger BGAs with more IOs. They're heavier BGAs as well. And we're enhancing some of the camera technology and algorithms to be able to place those types of components. And we're also seeing the need for thicker and heavier PCBs themselves.
Yeah.
Also in those machines, we're offering an LCR checker. Customers are requiring this to make sure that the right reel of components is not mislabeled. We're seeing potential errors of operators scanning the wrong reel in the wrong sequence and putting it on the wrong place. And then our customers are getting a request from their customers to do the electrical verification at the machine.
Right.
So that's all built in as well. And then for automotive, we see a TLR or top LED recognition, where we're looking at the fastener on the LED to align that component very accurately, primarily for automotive headlamp applications.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So going back to talking about your 5G stuff and some of your electric vehicle stuff, one of the big characteristics there is there's a lot of big heavy devices next to smaller devices and much heavier boards as well. How are you having to change your manufacturing, your handling systems to be able to cope with these bigger boards?
Yeah, of course, the transport section, in improving the capacity of that, the rails and the transport belts, et cetera. And we've made some accommodations as far as the board height as well.
Right.
Or thickness, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's useful. So and then you've got your odd form placement system anyway for being able to handle
That's right.
components. Let's talk a little bit quickly then about materials management. We're running a little bit beyond time, I think, but let's see if we can do this. Have you got a materials management solution where you're bringing materials to the line from a tower system, anything like that?
Yeah, we've collaborated and partnered with Innovax with their smart cart system, and we've really added on top of that our Panasim software solution. So it's fully integrated. That's really where a lot of the value is added. We have our equipment communicating to the inventory system. We know exactly how many components are on the reel when you put it back into the store, to the warehouse. We talk about increasing the throughput of our equipment and efficiency of our equipment, but if the customer can't find that reel of components in that warehouse and get it to the equipment prior to the reels being exhausted, then you've really lost that benefit, right? So we're in the warehouse, telling the operator where exactly to pull that reel of components. The machine is communicating, say, hey, this reel is about to be exhausted. Go and pull this reel. We're integrating with autonomous delivery systems to get that without labor to the line. And then we're telling the operator which reel to pick and where to put that reel on the machine. So that whole combination is really a slick solution that we have that we're offering here.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's critical. Michael, don't you think the machine downtime or reducing machine downtime is a big part of smart factory solutions?
Oh, this whole material management area for me is my favorite area, actually. I agree with you 100%. And all of the things that you are putting together, the planning of materials, understanding the quantities, the spoilage, even extra verification. People just don't understand how much money they can save by doing this. They buy these fantastic machines, and then they say, well, how come we didn't achieve the output? And because in almost all cases, it's simple material management. And you would think, how hard can it be to put something in the right place? But think about it from the other perspective. If you make any mistake, you have machine downtime, you have product quality problems. A lot of all of the pain of manufacturing is resolved by the kind of solution you're talking about. And I wish people would really start to understand that.
Yeah, Michael, it's amazing. It's been ignored for so long, but it really become a focus now. And the faster the machines are, the more throughput you can build. You're building bad boards faster. So you really need to have these functions in place.
Yeah, exactly. And I think part of the problem is people are used to the old world, where they are using ERP that is driving the planning, it's driving the materials. It simply can't keep up. it needs help. And,
That's right.
taking the information from the line, from the machines, interfacing with that in real time, it provides them with the opportunity to do a much, much better job. But on the machine side, you're dealing with very specific components for specific applications, which, that information just doesn't normally exist. But, when you start to automate the processes you've done, it's a whole new world.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. And also, Michael, when you compare the cost of the line against the cost of this solution, it is, it is just a little percentage compared with the cost of the complete line. And then even worse, with the cost that you will have when you have a quality problem, as you are mentioning, that is even worse. So I think this is a very good example of a smart factory where we can offer an integrated solution that it is by far much more than just pick and place.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I've seen factories with my own eyes where the warehouse has become bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they filled the sports hall the gym was full of components. Why?
Yeah.
Because they kept running out of materials suddenly for no reason. Why? Because they hadn't done these things that you're talking about. They hadn't kept account of the materials on the reel. They hadn't done the material management of knowing where things were. So when they actually come to use the technology that you're describing, they save a huge amount in material costs because they don't have all of that investment there. They don't have the spoilage associated with that. It's getting dirty. It's becoming obsolete. End of life is a nightmare. I've seen companies write off literally millions of dollars simply because they've not been following material management principles.
And this is one example. When you integrate digital solutions into the line and you track the complete process and you have different modules to go one by one, the savings that you can have, the improvements are huge. We are discussing only about one. We do not have time to go one by one. But when we integrate all these kind of digital solutions into the factory, into the SMT line, it is amazing how much you can improve.
Yeah,
Great.
I've seen return on investment within about 6 weeks in one case. That's just on materials. And so, trying to get people to believe this, that you can simply install these machines with this software or whatever solution, it's difficult for people to believe, but it's true. And so I very much encourage people to take a look at this technology.
I agree. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I want to honestly, I think it's great to see what you're doing. I think we're all traveling in the right direction here. We've just got to get the message across that, this really is the future for electronics manufacturing. But Gustavo and Chris, thank you very much for coming in and joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you.
Trevor, Michael, thank you very much.
Yeah, nice to speak to you. Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
Global SMT and Packaging opens the windows of the world to bring you the latest news and technologies from Munich, from Bangalore, from Shanghai, from San Diego.